Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Julia Janae. We are continuing to follow post-verdict coverage of the latest fallout from the Depp versus Heard verdict. Court TV legal correspondent Chanley Painter, she joins us now live from outside of the courthouse. I was about to say inside of the courthouse, Chanley. That's where you've been for 6 weeks. Now you're outside. What can you tell us are the latest developments now after this bombshell verdict?
Well, you know, latest fallout is that I'm supposed to have Elaine Bredehoft sitting next to me, of course, Julia, interviewing. Now I have an empty chair. She canceled last minute, minutes ago. With our interview live here on television, we were prepared, all set up for her, outlined of questions, and she had some emergency, something in court is what it was. So we're working on, hopefully, a meeting with her next week is what we're being told as a possibility for an interview after this huge verdict that happened right here where I'm sitting just a couple of days ago on Wednesday. And it's a very different scene, not the sea of people that were out here, of course, a few days ago. It's much calmer. Court business is back to normal here in Fairfax County. But we are talking about what is next in this case, because the team of Amber Heard did confirm that they are going to appeal that verdict that we brought to our viewers live. And we caught up with an expert on appellate law and on defamation law to see what exactly that may look like. Let's listen.
In terms of Amber's case, she's already indicated she wants to fight in the Court of Appeal regarding exclusion of evidence testimony she wanted to bring in, or documents or text messages she wanted to bring in that the court wouldn't let her bring in. That's one area. A second issue is early in the case, there was a motion for summary judgment that was denied. That's another area that could be reviewed on an appeal. And third, Virginia has recently updated their anti-SLAPP law. They amended the law while this case was underway. And I would expect issues regarding the application of anti-SLAPP law in Virginia to be heard in the Court of Appeal.
So that's what we can kind of expect next. There's 30 days after the entry of a judgment for her team to file that notice. And it's also important to keep in mind, because this was a split verdict, the jury did say that at least one of those statements against Amber Heard defamed her as well. So Depp, if his team wanted to, could also appeal this verdict. Julia?
Are there any kind of hearings coming up? There's often that motion for a new trial hearing. Is that something that's set or in the works?
Well, the judge did mention a court date once the jury was dismissed, and she was talking to the parties about the verdict form. She modified the punitive damages from $5 million for Depp to $350,000, the statutory limit here for punitive damages in the state of Virginia. But she also noted a court date. Let's watch.
I will set this down for entry of an order. And can we do it on June 24th at 10 a.m. if that's available? All right, yes, Mr. Chu, if you could prepare that order and then circulate it to Ms. Bredehoft, and we can have all the objections noted on it. All right?
We'll do that, Your Honor. Thanks very much.
All right, and if I get it before that date, I'll take it off the docket. Okay?
Entry of an order that will be prepared by Benjamin Chu, the lead attorney for Johnny Depp. And of course, as the judge mentioned, if it was something that could be taken care of ahead of time, she would take that particular date off the docket. So while the big verdict has been handed down, Julia, this matter rolls on with other post-verdict motions and appeals.
And Chanley, I know we were anticipating Elaine Bredehoft sitting next to you for that interview. Were you able to gather any insight from her or her team how Amber Heard is doing, or how Johnny Depp from his team, how they are doing or what they are doing since this verdict?
Not since they issued those mass statements right after the verdict as far as what their clients were thinking and feeling upon that. But we have been keeping track with Johnny Depp. I mean, he's on a tour with Jeff Beck in the United Kingdom, making appearances on stage almost every night. Of course, we see it on social media, the videos, the crowds that are showing up to support him. He even was spotted at a pub the other day with people cheering for him, wanting to take photos with him. And so it seems as though, according to this team, this was a pre-scheduled work obligation, but which prevented him from being here at the courthouse during his verdict. So for his team, he is back to his roots, his love of music, Julia. But as far as Amber Heard, no word as far as other than that statement that we got from her the other day.
Understood. I do have one follow-up question. I know when we leave a town, or when a trial leaves a town, there's sometimes this exhale for all of the men and women who've been working tirelessly there at the courthouse, making sure that everything is in place. Are you getting a sense of anything from this town now that everything has moved on? Are people still talking about it, or are they a little bit relieved?
Right, yeah, it seems to be going back to normal. Some is mixed reactions. Some people, glad that the quote-unquote circus is no longer outside the courthouse with the crowds of people and extra security, blocking of traffic and that type of thing. So seems as though life has resumed to normal. And I just remembered I wanted to also mention that, you remember Isaac Baruch, Julia, one of my favorite witnesses during this entire trial. He was one of the first witnesses for Johnny Depp. He made such an impression inside the courtroom with his big personality, his loyalty to his friend Johnny Depp. Well, he actually posted on Instagram recently. We have a copy of that, and some of it has to be, edited out because of his language choice, but he has all caps, justice served. He says he's beyond the moon happy for his friend, his family, and his friends who have been there for him, Johnny Depp, the amazing team of lawyers who fought for our friend and epically, well, I can't say that part, and then revealed the truth of of the matter, so you could witness the evidence with your own eyes and ears. He says his post goes on to say, wow is all I can say. Your love and truth and justice knows no bounds, and I thank you for that. And he also has a shout out to the millions and millions of people who have supported Johnny Depp. And he said now it's his time to start painting again. I remember part of his testimony, Julia, was that he struggled. He was emotional too on the stand of how this has affected him and the relationship. He couldn't really paint anymore. And his post is saying now he's back to painting.
I like what he said there, that people were able to witness with their own eyes and ears. That is due to the access to courts there in Virginia and here in the U.S. Chanley Painter, thank you so much for all of that. I hope things can get back to some kind of normalcy for you as well. Thank you for everything.